Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I want to talk to you all about a history lesson now. History lesson that I posted on MySpace. Someone, I don't know who it was, said I should post this under schools and education in YouTube. Well, let me tell you, this is a history of the Oval Office Resolute desk. Now I got 10 minutes, so I better speed it up. Called the Resolute. It began in 1852 with the British man-of-war ship HMS Resolute, His Majesty's or Her Majesty's ship, Resolute. The ship was sent in search of Sir John Franklin and his party who had disappeared in the Arctic while trying to discover their northwest passage. Unfortunately, Resolute had to be abandoned in thick ice and his crew returned to England aboard another ship. However, I think the captain was court-martialed or put to death for that one. Back then, they have to go down to the ship or something. HMS Resolute was discovered drifting in a pack ice near Baffin Island by Captains James Buddington of the U.S. whaler George Henry in September of 1855. When the thaw set in, he took her to his home port in New London, Connecticut, where after the British government waived all claims to her, the American government bought her from the fortunate whaler for 40 grand. Back then, that was a lot of moolah. She was refitted at the American government's expense in the Brooklyn Navy Yard with the intention of presenting her to Queen Victoria and the British people. On behalf of the people of the United States, as a token of the friendly feelings for which our country is acquitted. In 1879, when Resolute was finally broken up, a desk was made from her timbers, which, by the way, was a pain in the butt, complicated desk, which was presented by Queen Victoria to President Rutherford B. Hayes in 1879. 1880. Apart from short periods, the desk has been in daily use in the White House by almost every president of the United States. Since then, it was made more visible and popular during JFK's presidency, when numerous pictures showed JFK Jr. or John having fun with the secret door while his father carried out business of the world. So, the Resolute desk, there you go. Now, do you want to know more about it? I'll tell you more. This is the Resolute desk, if you can get a good picture of it, see? Or this. Now, what does that mean history-wise? Let me tell you, the only presidents that didn't use it was George Herbert Walker, which had it for 5 months. Then he asked for, I think, the vice presidential desk in Capitol Building when he was vice president. It's in the ceremonial office, if you didn't know that. The ceremonial office dated back to like 1857, I think it was. Now, when it came to that, he only used it 5 months. Clinton used it for his terms. George W. loved the desk. It was his prized possession as president. And then you got Barack Obama, our current president, using it. George W. used it too, as I said. Ronald Reagan had it brought back, but he only had the platform raised because of his high legs. That was the second modification. Then Jimmy Carter, who requested it from the Smithsonian. See, it was in the Smithsonian after JFK died, and President LBJ used a regular desk. President Nixon used a different desk, and then President Ford used a different desk. Or the same one for those 3 presidents, I don't know. Then we got Carter, who requested it back. Now, the first modification was the middle panel. If you look it up online, the middle panel was installed to hide President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's wheelchair, or crutches. So, FDR died while in office. Truman had it installed anyways. It's been used by every president since. It was moved to the Oval Office in 1909 when the Oval Office was, in fact, created. It's been moved out of the Oval Office after JFK died. It was used by some presidents, but if you want to get technical, it was in storage, and Jacqueline Kennedy found it. So, next is discussing replicas. There was a replica used in National Treasure 2. Cost about $6,700 of shipping. That's one I got on layaway. VictorianReplicas.com. He's a great guy, David Newton. Great guy to work with. I'd recommend him. Now you can go through the presidential desk. You can get it in mahogany or oak. There's two different versions, different leather tops. You can get the desk. Let me give you the dimensions. First desk in this is 72 by 36 by 31. That's tiny. You can get it in a brown, green, red, or black leather top. Then you can get the standard, which is in the Oval Office, the 72 by 48 by 31. Again, you can get it in brown, green, red, or black leather top. Then you can get a bigger one, which is 80 by 48 by 31. That's the dimensions, brown, green, red, or black. Now, the biggest this guy will go up to is 56 by 90 by 31. That's one huge honking desk. Now, if you don't want to go through them, see, the bigger the desk, it could be like 16 grand. It goes up price. You can always find this book or request one at thepresidents.com. Now, if you don't want to go through them and you want to go through Victorian replicas, that's fine. Now, let me give you some other history. Or not history, but advice. There's a place called historychannel.com or history.com. You can find it on Wikipedia under Resolute Desk. Look for the video clip. Just highlight the history part. Sorry, had an itch on my nose. Then what you do is you email them if you wish. Their desk's about 12 grand. It's made out of pure oak. It's 48 by 72 by 31. And presidential desk has cheaper ones. One's a sister desk, as I was just going to say, is $6,300 minus shipping, and it's very nice. It's made out of mahogany. Beautiful desks, beautiful. Now, if you want to go with the Victorian replicas at VictorianReplicas.com, I would recommend going with the one from National Treasure. The leather top's a little different, and it's a beautiful desk. It's 76 inches long, 48 inches wide, and 32 inches tall. It's just a little bigger, but it's still beautiful. It's the one Nicolas Cage was playing with, if you didn't know. Now, if you're iffy about those places, you can always, like I said, go through the history place. The history place will go and do it for you. As I said, the history place. There's another place. One guy custom made one for the Kennedy Library. You can find him at Wikipedia. Now, if you go with the one that National Treasure used, which was also used, I believe, Commander-in-Chief, My Fellow Americans, a couple others, it would be perfect. Now, my final words about the desk in Victorian replicas is he sold one to the Reagan administration's library and the Nixon library, and I believe Ford and Carter. So 3 of them have their desks, even though they're a little bigger, it's still a replica. Therefore, with that said and done, you can check out their websites, VictorianReplicas.com, thepresidentsdesk.com, history.com, wikipedia.com, and you can find all the info out on the Resolute Desk. It's a beautiful piece of furniture, and I'm looking forward to having mine paid off soon at $6,750 so I can actually enjoy it. So there you go. May God bless the world. May God bless the United States. Good night, and best of goodbyes, everyone.